Good morning. Thanks for being here. A continuation, paying tribute to Mr. Scott Adams. I invite all of you to join me in a simultaneous sip. If you're not familiar with what that is or what it entails, let me explain. We encourage you to participate, and if you would like to, all you would need is a cup or mug or a glass, a tankard, chalice or stein, a canteen, jug or flask, a vessel of any kind. Fill it with your favorite liquid. I like coffee. And join me now for the unparalleled pleasure, the thing that makes everything better. It's called the simultaneous sip, and it happens now. Go. Clink. Thank you for joining here on the TNAM Daily Show. I have a whole intro that I'll do, but I'll give you the topics. I'll launch the official intro to the show, and then I'll come back and do my official intro. I'm trying to remember if I actually did my intro yesterday. I don't know. Just feels right to keep doing the simultaneous sip for a little bit. You know, Scott Adams put on a pretty good show. One of my favorites. And I hope I can take some of that inspiration and deliver a good show to you. Something that's occasionally funny, occasionally thought-provoking. Occasionally you agree, occasionally you disagree. Occasionally I'll present both sides of a story. And occasionally I'll stand on both sides of a story. So there's a lot of angles to consider. I've faced a weird thing in the past couple of days where people are getting angry and trying to tell me what I believe and what I don't. That's not true. Oh, do you see this story? This guy's 76 years old and he's been here since 1974 and he was detained by ICE and Customs Enforcement. Do you see what that is? You're not a Christian. You're not a Christian. I'm a better Christian than you are. I'm not a Christian, but I'm a better Christian than you are. Huh? Slow down. You don't even know what my position is. I don't even know that particular case. What I am is a shepherd of a flock, whether that's in your local community, whether that's in your country, whether it's on this planet. And there's been a massive security breach. Acts of war have been committed under the previous administration. 40 million illegal alien invaders from all parts unknown, with rival ideologies, criminal records, people we do not want lurking in our communities, harming our people. That's what I support. Don't fucking put words in my mouth. Don't you fucking dare put words in my mouth. If there are people getting caught up in the ICE raids, people that fill in the blank. You could have any number of concerns. I can also share these concerns with you while asking, how would you suggest we do this better? That's the question I want answered. This is the question I'm going to pose to you. Knowing up to 40 million illegal alien invaders have infiltrated this nation with views, ideologies that are antithetical to our Bill of Rights, our Constitution. What is your suggestion on an improved way to get them out of here? They've had a year. President Trump has been in office for a year now. In that past year, gas prices have gone down a lot. The border has been sealed. There is a whole reconfiguration of an absolute mess that was left for us to try to deal with. GDP's pushing 5. Some wars are being ended. Others they're pushing to end. Others are trying to rebuild the areas. Others we're trying to strategically place different scenarios. And it's really reconfiguring the entire game of risk right now. There have been a lot of bad people with a lot of bad intentions who have been waste, fraud, and abusing their way to running this nation bankrupt into an iceberg. So there's a lot that's happening at once. But really, even if we're just acquaintances on social media, in your reaction to me you were calling Don Lemon some sort of a hero And the lady that was participating in the terroristic act on that church in Minneapolis as a hero? Oh, no, hell no. And when I call that out, that a line has been crossed and that's unacceptable, and your response is to come after me with all of that diatribe, the bits and pieces that I was telling you about. No, we don't know each other. We are acquaintances online. But for the love of God, be specific. To say that I support my nightclub having a bouncer, your nightclub is shut down if you're not guaranteeing that the people in there are old enough to be there, that they're not on the do not serve list because they've caused problems before, and we know their type, and we don't want the good people inside to be harmed by them. That doesn't make us bad. But that's the narrative the lefties are pushing. It's bullshit. And so many people are wondering right now with Don Lemon, does he deserve jail time? The FACE Act. Will anyone ever get arrested? There's that other thing. Pam Bondi, are you even a whole year of Dan Bongino? What do you got? What do you got? Nothing? Okay, awesome. I know you didn't legitimately do nothing. None of the big names, none of the grand conspiracy, nothing. Just nothing. Okay. So there is a bit of a frustration there. But all I actually support is a safe community. And we have every right to know who is here. You've had a year to use the CBP Home app. If you are not an American citizen and somebody lifted the razor wire gates so you could sneak in under the cover of night, that doesn't make you an American. Heaven has gates. You don't let just anyone into heaven. Then heaven would be meaningless. So please spare me your non-Christian lectures on what it means to be a Christian, as long as your definition means I roll over and accept things that are not acceptable. We have every right to make sure that what happened to Lake and Riley doesn't happen again. We have every right to run a sovereign nation. And so these are some of the stories we're going to unpack today. Don Lemon crossed a big line in Minneapolis. The Democrats are playing with fire. They know exactly what they're doing because they're polling at about 17%, 18%. Nobody likes them. During the COVID tyranny, citizens fled en masse. Millions fled the tyranny of the big blue cities because we don't want to live like that. And so what happened? 40 million illegal alien invaders rustled up here, a highway of illegal aliens, to restock the cities that hemorrhaged Americans because of the massive tyrannical overreach of that government. So a lot of the same people who are criticizing our ability to have a bouncer at the door of your nightclub to check IDs, take the cover charge, make sure everybody's on the same page. We got some rules we're going to go over. Make sure you're not bringing anything dangerous in with you. No fentanyl, no weapons. I think that's pretty fair. And if you snuck in, that's on you. Don't look at the Democrats' mess as a Republican problem because they're cleaning it up. We're not getting it twisted. The Democrats did this. The Obama team with Joe Biden on marionette puppet strings. Mayorkas, Kamala Harris, our border czar. Are you kidding me? But it's because the strategy has morphed over time. It's evolved over time as a way to make sure you can take over this country, fully take it over. Minneapolis, is it gone? Minnesota, is it gone? New York, is it gone? California, is it gone? When you pass a law in California that says it's illegal to prove that you have the eligibility requirements to vote, that's not a policy of an honest person. That's a policy that encapsulates potential for fraud. So this is the conversation we're having as a nation. What is what? I hope we can have some more productive conversations. The conversation I had earlier today was less than productive. But we encourage your comments. We'll pull up your comments in a moment here on the side. However you're watching, hit like, hit subscribe, click the thumbs up button. And join the show. Other ways you can join the show, of course. Let's get this scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Patreon. Thank you to our subscribers. Your monthly contributions mean the world. Encourage everybody to at least sign up for the free version. It's The New American Media on Patreon. You can do a monthly subscription on Rumble and YouTube, as well as dropping Rumble rant tips and super chat tips into the tip jar. I was just looking on YouTube. We're 20 days into January, and we have surpassed our slow month of November, but we're within striking distance of October when it comes to super chats and such. So we definitely appreciate the crowd contributions here. I'm your humble bartender. We're just talking about the stuff that's on the TV screens. We wake up and we're a bunch of trash pandas. We knock the garbage can over and we rifle through it. You open up some bags, it's baby diapers. You open up some other bags and it's perfectly good food, perfectly good produce and stuff that you could use. You don't need to mix that together, separate it. Every day there's going to be some good, some bad, some ugly, some confusing, some challenging. It's just the stuff that's on the TV screens behind me. And that's what we do. We share the New American Media Instagram feed. So if you want a sneak preview into the content that we're going to use on the TNAM Daily Show, subscribe. We need more people on the Instagram. If you haven't yet followed us on Instagram, create an account and go to Instagram to do it. Same with Rumble, of course. And make sure you're following us on X at American_media_. Additional tip jars are just Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal, all scrolling at the bottom of the screen if you were interested. But yes, for 15 years, we've been seeking truth, challenging dogma, and encouraging people to join the mostly civil conversation. Our main show has been called the Agree to Disagree Show for a reason, because we want, even if we don't agree, you go, all right, I'll agree to disagree. All right, we'll agree to disagree. And keep going, keep talking. Like this whole thing where you shut down and you block people out of your life, like this is bad news, becoming compartmentalized like that. A lot of people say we're more similar than we're different. Maybe we are, maybe we're not. Maybe some people aren't worth our breath. And I'm sure they think the same about you. But in that day and age, it kind of seems like it's even more important that you have more conversations with people. We're trying to. Case in point, we've put together an interesting show on Thursday. We may have two people with a third, potentially, who could join us for a round table on ICE. I'm curious to see how that one goes. On today's program, we're going to discuss Don Lemon terrorizing a Minneapolis church. Is it time for the SAVE Act? That would mean enacting the filibuster, getting rid of the filibuster, nuking it, they say. Well, the Democrats tried it, but Joe Manchin and Sinema blocked it, right? So if it's going to be done anyway, why don't you do it to save your republic? What is John Thune doing? And should he be replaced with someone who will do the job? You've got one chance to fix these in the midterms. And if you can't prove who you are to vote, we see what the Democrats are up to by the millions. Pick one county, pick one city, try to override the state, and then changing policy to whatever that backward bullshit was under Biden for 4 years. Do you want to go back to that? Do you want to go back to that? Because I sure don't. We're also going to talk about Indiana winning the college football title. I don't know if we're really going to talk about it. It was just kind of awesome. They've felt like a team of destiny for a while since the Penn State game. But I believe we are planning for our show today at 3 p.m. Eastern, strictly football, trying to get final confirmation from everybody. Yeah, still waiting final confirmation, but hoping for 3 p.m. today, strictly football on the Unhappy Hour, brought to you by the New American Media. Yeah, we'll talk about the NFL action and the college football championship, and as well as some coaching changes, coaching hirings, Kevin Stefanski from the Browns going to the Falcons and whatnot. So let's go ahead and do this. I usually start my show with a sip of coffee. And what I say is, broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside Minneapolis, Minnesota. My name's Brian Engelman. Today is Tuesday, January 20th, 2025. And this right here is called the TNAM Daily Show, right here on the New American Media. Buckle up. Today's program starts now.
Guide to the truth, thenewamericanmedia.com.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. What a wonderful day. Hope you're having a great time out there. How is the weather where you're at? Tell us in the comments. Question of the day. What's the weather like? I found a situation today. It gets cold. Pipes can freeze. How's the weather where you're at? How you hanging in there? We're in the doldrums of January, folks. The doldrums of January. Let's go to comments. Trash Panda, Texas. Howdy, John Brenneman, Droopy Dog. Like Leon, Marion Cook, here present and accounted for. What's up? Happy to have you. Of course, we got Kenneth in the house. Happy Tuesday to y'all. Just a slight delay. Double checking every day. There's something with YouTube. You gotta. They put an age restriction on a flag burning video. It's an inanimate object that was lit ablaze. Got to be 18 to watch that. No, I'll appeal. Every day it's something weird with them. No one can get arrested, or so it seems. I know. Aaron says, "Woot woot, go Hoosiers!" Yeah, can we talk about that game for a second? It was super cool. An iconic play. Was it 4th and down, and Indiana needed a touchdown? They needed a first down, and they called a run for Mendoza. He got the first down, he spun, and he kept going, and he lunged. He gave like the dive off to his side for the touchdown. That was pretty cool. An iconic play. Without a doubt, that lunging dive with the ball in for a touchdown, that will be the statue that they put up at Indiana University to the Heisman winner. They kept showing his mom, and I think they said she has MS and she's in a wheelchair. I think it was the husband, and like they would celebrate, but he wouldn't stand. Like their thing is like they don't stand to get so she can celebrate the same way or something like that. It's just it's been a special season for Mendoza and the Indiana Hoosiers. Congratulations to him. Congratulations. What is that? Miami wouldn't give him a scholarship. You know, it's strange how things work out, huh? And it's okay if you don't know, you're not guaranteed a scholarship, just like not everybody's allowed in the country. You stop at the door guy, you announce yourself. You don't sneak in the back way, you walk in through the front, pay your cover charge, get your wristband, come on in. You want to be here as a citizen, you got to pass the test. You got to, and football players have to pass the test. Sometimes they're denied entry for whatever reason. Okay, they go to the next place and they succeed. Not every room is meant for every person. But yeah, it sure seems like he's going to be the number one pick for Tom Brady, who's a partial owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, to reset their franchise. The guy just seems to have it. He at least has it this season. Will they try to hire Cignetti away? I don't know. But keep your eyes peeled on Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, 16-0, pretty good record, eh? Yeah. Were they the first 16-0 team now? Or I guess the asterisk team, maybe. Or they didn't have to play, though. They didn't have to play in the first round, so they would have been 15. I don't know. I forget how it goes. But yeah, pretty good. Pretty darn good. All right, let's jump into the news, shall we? Yeah, I had a morning where there was a really sour interaction. And it's just interesting when it's me who has every right to be extra annoyed at the tactics of the Marxists, the leftists, the Don Lemons. When Charlie Kirk was taken off the board, I find that when their side does the worst of the worst, more people get angrier with me. Have you noticed that? When their side does the worst of the worst, you don't terrorize people inside of a church. You don't shoot someone in the neck. The worst of the worst, and then more people get angrier with me. Does that happen to you, or is it just me? Is it because I call things out? And they're on hyper defensive mode because their team's actions are indefensible? And they lash out and they say the stupidest shit. Am I the only one? Question of the day. Am I the only one when their side crosses clear boundaries? And when they try to paint them as a hero and you say, shame on them for violating a church, it unleashes a hellstorm. But I'll double down and I will say, shame on them for committing a terrorist act inside of a church. You're not a member there. You're not there to worship. You don't belong there. Get out. You shouldn't need to be told this. But they're egging you on. They're egging you on. They're egging you on. Like the lady in the car. I get to block traffic. I'm going to honk the horn. I'm going to impede this investigation. Drive, baby, drive. No, don't. Oh, do you see what happened? They're Nazi Gestapos in the street, and that's what you support. No, dork. I do not support a lady following a series of terrible decisions that led to what happened there. I don't want to see that happen again. That was awful. 100% preventable. Don't do the things that lady did. It's this, aha, I gotcha. See, well, this happened. So if this happened and you support that, then you're a fucking Nazi. That's not how this works. Cool story, but that's not real life and that's not reality. The name calling doesn't work. You're a white supremacist. Where the fuck did anyone ever say that? Can you please try to focus? You're sort of all over the place. You're just like thrashing a cornered animal, just lashing out in every direction. Will any of this stick? No, none of it's going to stick. So it's been a heck of a morning. Anyway, Marion says, shame on them. May they be held fully accountable. Yes. Here's Don Lemon himself. What is that? Well, let's play this without context, and then I'll read what some of the commentary here is.
Good.
See you where there.
Oh, he goes in for a kiss. Goes in for a kiss on the woman who led an angry mob of far-left radicals into a Minnesota Baptist church. Lemon is now backpedaling and blaming the woman for the incident after the DOJ announced they will be investigating.
Getting the operation together again. This is an operation that is secret, that they invited folks out. Can't tell you what is going to happen, but you're going to watch it live unfold here on the Don Lemon Show. There are for this reason it may look like MAGA coded, but there's a reason they have so many white people here. I'm just going to be honest. It's because of the
There's a reason they have so many white people here. No, Don, we know that it's the awfuls who are running the Democrat Party. Is it angry, white, liberal female? That runs the Democrat Party. That's not coded. That is the Democrat Party.
The operation that they're doing today. It's important to have allies, as I said, white allies here. So that is what I could say. I turned our camera off of them because they're giving some critical information here. But there we go. Everybody's ready to go. Let's go. Okay. Thank you guys thanks you for allowing me to be here.
Okay,
thank you guys.
Okay.
How are you?
Good
to see you. We're on. We're not saying what it is, what's going on, but thank you. Tell us why you're doing this.
So
this is Nakima Levy Armstrong. She's on the show
Nakima
on Friday.
Levy Armstrong, civil rights attorney, longtime activist here in the community. And, we protest and do activism in all kinds of ways. This is Operation Pull Up, more of a clandestine operation. We show up somewhere that is a key location. They don't expect us to come there. And then we disrupt business as usual. So that's what we're about to go do right now. We've had a lot of success with the times we have done Operation Pull Up.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see it's a bold strategy. Let's see how that plays out for you.
After George Floyd was killed, we went to the Police Federation head's home and staged a demonstration there. We also went to the head of the U.S. Marshals from Minnesota after Winston Smith was killed by the U.S. Marshals. We went there after Dante Wright was killed.
How are you?
Good.
To see you.
King says this isn't protest, it's intimidation and disruption. That's a violation of constitutional rights and civil rights, and that's what Operation Pullout is, period. A civil rights attorney who encourages this behavior is betraying the profession, and Don should absolutely be called out for intimidating a pastor while dismissing the issue entirely. Yeah. Didn't he just say he knew about it? He was a part of it? Oh, he just stumbled upon it? Yeah, right. Yeah. Most says, did Hakima lead the protests when Obama deported 3 million plus? Or is she new to the outrage activism community? All should be arrested. Yeah, Lemon said he just walked into it. No, this seems to tell a very different story. Yeah. Oh, Don Lemon done screwed up, it seems. I think we got a little bit more on Don Lemon, so let's keep it moving today. Did you hear this? Was this on Radar from like a year ago? What was this? This looks like an NBC.
Clear, quiet conditions until the fog rolls in.
Clear, what did she say? Clear, calm conditions until the fog rolls in?
Some sea fog out there. We'll have some radiation fog forming over the land as well. So
sea fog and radiation fog?
Radiation fog forming over the land as well.
Oh, hold on. Music. Radiation levels black. Oh, geez. Hang on. What is this? I don't know how to read this map. Hi. From a year ago. Radiation fog. Have you heard of radiation fog? I'm not familiar with the concept. Ground fog, sometimes morning fog, common type of fog that forms overnight or early in the morning due to Earth's surface losing heat to space through radiational cooling, hence the name radiation. Nothing to do with nuclear radiation, is what they say. Okay. I'll say per grok, and I will drop that definition in there. All right. We learned something today. Check out Don Lemon with the guy who committed an act of terrorism in that church.
Uniform now, you think they're patriots?
I don't think so, especially those ICE agents.
That's what I'm talking
no.
about. Yeah. Well,
No, they're terrorists. They're traitors.
thank you guys. Thank you for your service. I appreciate it.
Today we had the honor to protest with Nikema Armstrong and the Racial Justice Network. Just like Jesus did, we went into that church and we flipped tables peacefully. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are your people? Why are you not at Whipple every day fighting for the humanity, standing for our people? Where are you? You drink your coffee, you got your jewelry, you have your nice clothes, but what do you do? What do you do to stand for your Somali and Latino communities?
I'm not going to comment.
You have no comment, exactly. As you can see, all these pretend Christians, all these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're living real life, nice lives with your lattes, doing absolutely nothing for your Latino and Somali brothers and sisters. You come here to a man wearing a suit. Is a preacher? Did Jesus wear a suit? Did Jesus profit off the words? No! Jesus would die with innocence. Do not touch me. Touch me again and see what happens.
Hey, you can't.
You are a fake Christian. Why are you not standing with your Somali and Latino communities? Why do I not see you out at Whipple every day protesting this attack on humanity? Where are you? You're sinners. You're pretending to be Christians. But we know you live an easy life, don't you?
And that's what I was called today by a non-Christian, a fake Christian. Excuse me, with all due respect, all of you non-Christians passing judgment on what a Christian is and is not. Yeah, you can, I'm going to use a little discretion on what I want to say there. Suffice it to say, I don't have the bandwidth to give a shit about what you, a non-Christian, deem to be a Christian. Because as a shepherd looking out for their flock, we got this. This was such a line crossed. And they're using the same phraseology now. A lot of libertarians are really fake freedom fighters. Peel back one or two layers, there's a lot of fakeness in this libertarian thing. Oh, our civil liberties. Yeah, we want the civil liberties of the people who are members of the group, members of the inside of the nightclub, at the concert. We want those people to have the best experience possible. No poison fentanyl, no outside weapons, no underage harm, no abuse. We have every right to make sure you're not on a do not serve list. And if you're coming out against that, no, I'm not very interested in your opinions.
A very easy life while people are starving. Living real comfortable while the people starve. Living real comfortable while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're all living real comfortable, aren't you? Shame on you. Do something. Stand with the Somalis. Stand with the Latinos. Quit ignoring this injustice. He wears a suit and tie and he hangs out with Kristi Noem. How is that a Christian? You're supposed to accept all immigrants, are you not? Why are you not going down to Whipple and joining us in protest against this inhumanity?
People who are wearing the uniform now.
Yeah. GSX. Why do they always look like drug addicts? Well, I mean, Mag Mountain says, do they really want to wake the sleeping giant of Christians? Someone else, please try this in Texas. E says, I can smell his breath through my phone. Why do they all have bad teeth and look unkempt and in need of a shower? Is this a solidarity thing? Thank you for your service. What military is he in and why don't they have dental? Looks like DOJ is coming for you. Unhinged. Thank you for your cervix. Someone else called this dude. Hey, look, it's the drywall guy who vanished after he gets paid for 2 weeks. That might be the funniest thing I've read in a comment section in a while. It's not belly roar, belly laugh, hilarious. But if you've worked in construction, if you've worked with vendors, this is like the drywall guy who vanished after he gets paid for 2 weeks. Best comment out there. Anyway, you could not dislike these people anymore. Lake Leon, I want this guy in jail more than Don Lemon. Ken says this dude needs a Gitmo invite. I think they messed around. I really do. I think they messed around. Yeah, good question, Marion. So was that a planned insurrection? Maybe. Radiation fog killed the radio star. That's a bit of a leap, but I'll try it. All right, let's check in on Scott Jennings and see how CNN is handling these ICE issues.
Yeah, how many people ICE has arrested and removed from Minneapolis in the last 5 weeks? 2,500. Rapists, murderers, pedophiles.
How many?
Gang members.
How many of the 2,500 were rapists, murderers,
over
pedophiles?
2,500.
That's arrest. I don't think
that's total arrest.
I just doesn't seem.
So you have the worst of the worst.
Scott, that's
being
not the
removed.
number of all of those types of people, but just
That's
continue.
inaccurate.
That's a pretty big coincidence that those 2,500 people have conviction records for those particular offenses.
It's inaccurate. And I honestly, Scott, when I say it's a lie or I'm saying someone is a liar, it is not meant to be an insult. It is when you say things like that, it's just not true.
I'm telling you that according to the Department of Homeland Security and their official statements, in the last 5 weeks, they have removed, quote, over 2,500 murderers, fraudsters, predators, and gang members, the worst of the worst from Minnesota. Any idea how many people?
Preach. 2,500 less really bad people creeping around the community. That's a good thing. That's what a good shepherd would do. You look after your flock. Heaven has a gate. Not all may enter. Kristen Sokolov here says they don't want coexistence. They want submission. When your beliefs offend them, they don't debate, they invade, and then they pretend like they're the good guys. Watch the full video here.
Renee Good! Renee Good! Renee Good! Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are your people? Why are you not at Whipple every day fighting for the humanity, standing for our people? Where are you? You drink your coffee, you got your jewelry, you have your nice clothes, but what do you do? What do you do to stand for your Somali and Latino communities?
I'm not going to comment.
You have no comment. Exactly. Renee Good! Renee Good!
We have a duty
They egged Renee Good on to make a terrible series of decisions that led to her untimely demise. And now they're trying to laud her as a hero. What did the girlfriend say? It's my fault. I'm the one that brought her here. To elevate this woman to a martyr status because she was interfering with an ICE operation, location after location after location that day, decided to drive her vehicle into an ICE agent. And then trying to dangle that name around as a shield to continue the attack. You don't despise these tactics enough. That didn't need to happen. 17% approval, 18% approval. Completely unliked by the American people. Trying to divide and conquer right now. It's not working, but it is annoying.
We must love and support one another. All these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're living real life, nice lives with your lattes, doing absolutely nothing for your Latino and Somali brothers and sisters. You come here to a man wearing a suit as a preacher? Did Jesus wear a suit? Did Jesus profit?
I think we've sort of had enough. Did this overlap? Because they're repeating the same four stupid things. Is this the exact same footage?
The words? No! Jesus would dine with immigrants. You do not touch me. Touch me again and see what happens.
Hey, you can't.
You are a fake Christian. Why are you not standing with your Somali and Latino communities? Why do I not see you out at Whipple every day protesting?
Yeah, we're good. I can't take this meth addict's voice anymore.
Well, you don't.
All right, so for the people who say nothing's happening, Right Angle News Network says Secret Service are finally taking threats from leftists encouraging violence online seriously. They showed up at the home of prominent leftist agitator Jamie Bonkiewicz after she called for Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt to be K'd on television. She said, when Carolyn Leavitt gets what she deserves, I hope it's televised.
You don't want to perceive any ill will towards these people other than what you're saying.
Yeah, I want to see your trials.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No problem. Do you go to a lot of the any demonstrations at all or things like that?
Why do you want to know that?
I'm just curious. For certain questionnaires we have to ask. Sorry, but
Sorry, I don't want to answer.
He's not a very good investigator. He's not a very good interrogator. You could do this so much better.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Do you have any weapons in the house at all?
No.
Just curious. Okay. Have you traveled to any functions, Democrat, Republican, any sides? Any kind of rallies or anything like that?
I just answered that question. I said I
You
don't
don't
want
want
to
to
answer.
talk. Okay, fair enough. Okay. Anything else you want to tell me about any other statements at all?
No.
Okay.
What do you consider crossing the line on social media?
It's a very good question. I mean, so technically, obviously you have freedom of speech, right? Everybody has that.
Mm-hmm.
Crossing the line is when you're going like a direct threat, like I will go kill the president, or statements like that, right? So those are obviously a different threshold, you know what I mean? And we usually present those to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Something like this, veiled threat, it's you know, is it a threatening nature? Now that I know that you didn't mean anything by it.
Now that I know.
It's basically a non-issue, right? So it'll basically end here.
A non-issue? No, it's not.
I'll go back, read it my report. You know,
Okay, so what can I do about the people on social media that threaten me and my home?
I would write to the local police and make a report. Right. Any other suggestions on that? Are you being threatened by other people?
Oh yeah, all
No.
the time.
Okay. Yeah.
All the time, but I'm not going to shut up.
No, and again, you have the right to say that as long as they're not threatening nature.
Yeah,
Right.
I've never said anything about killing anybody.
Okay. So again, what you meant with this was, again, tell me one more time.
Like the trials, the Newburgh trials. Like
Okay.
when all this shit is over, I want to see all of them go to trial, and I
Okay.
want it to be televised
Okay.
so I can watch it.
Okay. All right. That's all I'm looking for. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks
Yeah.
for your time.
All right, guys.
Appreciate
Yep.
it. All right.
Thank you.
Have a good- You don't.
Yeah, do you buy that? Or on the heels of Charlie Kirk, is it impossible to believe something that ridiculous? You decide. Tell me in the comments. Question of the day. Do you agree with the guy that let her off saying, well, now that I know you didn't say anything. You agree with that dude, or do you disagree? You think she's full of it and you know damn well that they meant Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, Charlie Kirk in Utah, explode them on live TV. They want to watch their demise on television. Bloodthirst. Or are you just buying the thing? No, I meant Nuremberg trials. Oh, yeah. Okay. Tell me in the comments. Here's an ICE agent who drives past Olia Scootacaster, I believe. I believe it was her network doing this. I believe it was her filming. I think I recognized her voice. And she says, I'm not with them, I'm press. But like, when you're the hype man for the nonstop protest movement, are you really objective, or are you a part of it? You're amplifying their message. Just don't look. It's the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode. Well, if you want something to stop giving it so much attention. You know, that's the Don Lemon thing. It's all coordinated and you're trying to get as much attention as possible. So to what degree is a videographer not a part of it? Nope, that ain't me. I was just here to see what was going on. They said they were doing something. I wanted to film it. Just, frankly, you can watch all the footage. Like, it's right there. If you got questions, you can see what they did. If it helps in a criminal case, you got it. I'm the one that filmed the footage for you. What do you want? Like, what do you want? I don't know. I didn't move anything. I didn't touch anything. I had my hands on a camera. I don't know. But this ICE agent pulls over thinking that this videographer is part of the mob. And he says, hey, you want to know what we're doing? Here's what we're doing.
We're here to arrest a child sex offender. And you guys are out here honking.
No, we're pressing.
That vehicle right there is honking and impeding our investigations while we're trying to arrest a child sex offender. That's who you guys are protecting. Insane.
You know what? Just
reporting. We're here to arrest a child sex offender. And you guys are out here honking.
No, we're pressing.
That vehicle right there is honking and impeding our investigations while we're trying to arrest a child sex offender. That's who you guys are protecting. Insane.
All right. That's a great officer right there. It's exactly who you want to be going after. And this is why everybody needs to show their wristband. Papers, please. There's a security breach in a time of war. Yes. Papers, please. Show me your ticket stub. People propped the door and now the movie theater's full. We have a sold out show and there's a bunch of people here can't sit down in their seats. There's people that didn't buy it. Let me see your tickets. You're on a train. Let me see your tickets. Oh, you don't have a ticket. Well, you must not have gotten on this train legally, did you? Come with me. And they run away and commit crimes and commit violence and see what you made me do. What you made me do? You did this. It's madness. I just keep seeing the nightclub in my head. Somebody props the back door and buses and buses and buses and buses of people are flooding in. They're underage. They got poison fentanyl. They got weapons. They're stealing. They're abusing the women. Turn the lights on. We've had a security breach. Everybody that has been to the front door, put your hand up and let me see your wristband this way right now. Or you say everybody out and everybody back through the front because you could have taken off your wristband and give it to someone else. Then you could say, oh, mine must have fallen off. And you already gave it to your buddy. Everybody out. Then you can come back in. You've had a year to use the CBP Home app. A year. Bad people doing bad things with bad criminal records are lurking in the shadows. That's what the Democrats did to America. getting mad at ICE for cleaning up the problem. It's like, they didn't flood your house. Don't be mad at the remediation company. They're doing their best.
For your reporting, we're here to arrest a child sex offender. And you guys are out here honking.
Oh, they're not. No, we're pressed. We're not.
That vehicle right there is honking and impeding our investigations while we're trying to arrest a child sex offender. That's who you guys are protecting. Insane.
Thank you for that. I love that video. What's this one here? Brandon White, according to Libs of TikTok official, posting multiple videos of doing something to agents of ICE. It says, when ICE breaks in my door for posting too many mean memes, but I'm holding the nastiest angle. So this, if you're listening, but if you're watching, it's right there at the top of the shower with a firearm aimed at the doorway for ICE. And then here, when ICE is pushing the stairs after I posted a meme that hurt their feelings, but I already have the nastiest angle. It's at the top of the stairs. And it shows from the top of the stairs up in the attic crawl space, he's there with a weapon to harm the ICE agents who raid his house for posting memes that hurt their feelings. You following this now? U.S. Postal Service worker, allegedly, by the way. Our tax dollars are paying his salary. But as all right, what's this? Real America's Voice puts this out. A YouTuber leaks on Charlie Kirk's assassination. Photos and messages. Here's Liz Wheeler.
You mentioned there are silos on the internet. The Turkey Tom is not a political commentator. He's not in conservative politics. He's sort of in this niche, chronically online YouTube bro world that I'm definitely not in as an individual. And there wasn't a lot of crossover until a couple weeks ago. I think when we reported on it, that it sort of began that crossover into politics. So all that being said, I think that the photographs that were provided did a lot for me, because that would be pretty easily disproven if those were faked in some way. But if you have a photograph inside an apartment that matches the layout of the apartment that Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs resided in, if you also provided a series of text messages and communications to verify your relationship with that person, so you can have, so that those listening to your account can have confidence that you're not just some random person making up a story. That's a pretty good start for substantiating evidence. I, of course, wish that this person would go public, would reveal his name and actually just say, like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you and show you this stuff. But I also understand in this volatile political environment that, I mean, he might be afraid. He might not want to be in the public eye. I don't know him. I don't know why. But I would say for not having the evidence in front of my own eyes, this is a pretty good effort to make people feel confident that that there's something to this, that this is authentic.
Well, and certainly reminds me to say that whether or not that this person has come public, I really, really, really stress that I hope this person has been interviewed by the Utah prosecutors and the FBI.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't have any insider information on that. I know some of the people that the FBI has been talking to, that they've interviewed. I don't know if they have interviewed this individual, although I do know that they have been sent this particular report from Substack.
Yeah, and that was so. By the way, just the work ethic behind this to put together the video that he did. And by the way, it's Turkey Tom. If anyone wants to check it out, I know it's Thanksgiving time, so it's appropriately named. So it's Turkey Tom on YouTube. Full credit to him for putting this together, and he's got a Substack up as well for anyone who wants to see the full data. So you can go through that. If you like watching videos, you can watch it. It's long, it's about 40 minutes, but you can also go and read the Substack. And it's just really an incredible piece of journalism that I think he put together to say, look, I've got this wild story. it seems real to me. I'm going to put the appropriate caveats in front of it. I'm going to put out the information, and I'm going to leave it out there for you. And ultimately, that's what you do when you get a source that comes forward like that.
But as you mentioned, there are silos on the internet. The Turkey Tom is not a
This has been out for a while. I don't know. I don't know where we stand, if we have any new information, if we're any more or less likely to believe the official story or not. But yeah, when that lady said Carolyn Levitt, she wants to tap in live on television, I'm sure she wasn't referencing Charlie Kirk, huh? All right. Okay. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe.
And there's
The Blaze shares this. Don Lemon wants to double down on Baptist Church Christian terrorism.
certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country was built for them, that it is a Christian country, when actually we left England because we wanted religious freedom. It's religious freedom, but only if you're a Christian and only if you're a white male, pretty much. And so, yeah, I absolutely 100%, but it's an intimidation tactic. And,
Pot meat kettle. It's an intimidation tactic.
I said,
but he's talking about himself there, right? Or was he talking about, wait, what? Hold on. I'm trying to figure out which angle he's going here. I'm sure it'll be the stupidest angle imaginable.
I don't understand how I've become the face of it when I was a journalist. I do understand.
A journalist. That's what you want to call yourself.
And that I'm the biggest name there. And I'm also, as I was on with my...
Yes, Don, you're such a big name. Yeah, you're such a big name that we care so much.
Producers this morning, you and Kylie talk all the time. My producers were saying, I said, how did I become the face of this? And my producer said, Don, you're a gay black man in America.
What? Nobody has brought up any of that. Like, none of that is relevant.
And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice.
Don Lemon, people, the Face Act.
Here's
Megyn Kelly's got thoughts on this bullshit.
how Don Lemon saw it moments before he joined the resistance organization to go into that church. This is him outside of the church at the initial meeting. Seems pretty clear he knew exactly what they were about to do in SOT 6.
Well, this is kind of MAGA coded, right? So the American flag or whatever, but these are resistance protesters. They're planning an operation that we're going to follow them on. I can't tell you exactly what they're doing, but it's called Operation Pull Up. Again, this is an operation that is secret, that they invited folks out. Can't tell you what is going to happen, but you're going to watch it live unfold here on the Don Lemon Show. There are for this reason it may look like MAGA coded, but there's a reason they have so many white people here. I'm just going to be honest. It's because of the operation that they're doing today. It's important to have
such a goon.
Have allies, as they said, white allies here.
This is unbelievable. The flag and the white people make it, quote, MAGA coded. They had to have whites. He wants to excuse the presence of whites to his audience with his stupid DL Mike flag, Don Lemon Mike flag. Okay, Don. He's really missing his CNN days when he mattered. He has to excuse the presence of white people there because you see, like, they're going, he's about to do the big reveal. They're going into a Baptist church service. And so you see, you need some whites. Hello, lots of black people are Baptist too. You'd think you'd know that, but no. And you need the white allies there, you see, because you're going to go confront a bunch of white Baptists in Minneapolis. As he makes very clear, he knows what's about to happen, Michael. And truly, after that pastor said, get out, every single one of them was guilty of trespass, including Don Lemon.
Of course, he makes a number of uncomfortable admissions right now, which he should get blowback for in the media, but also he's probably going to have blowback from prosecutors on. He's admitting that he's in on it.
Here's how Don Lemon saw it moments before he joined.
Yeah, he sort of incriminated himself nicely. Man. Yeah, I'll show this. Yeah. from the TNAM preparedness files. Don't do this. From the same file of Renee Good. Do not do what these people do. Do not ever do what these people do. A routine traffic stop ends in the elimination of 2 innocent people. Do not do this. I don't want to see this anywhere ever.
Don't step out of the car. We're going to break the window and we're going to remove you from the vehicle. You're going to be arrested for felony obstruction.
I want a supervisor.
I understand that. I don't need to provide.
Are you a supervisor?
No, I'm not required to provide you.
I'm 8 months pregnant in this car, and I don't want to be. I don't want it to escalate.
Okay.
I'm trying to get home with my sister.
Okay.
She has the right to call your supervisor. Why are you trying to get home?
Yes,
of course. If I feel like I'm unsafe, I don't feel safe.
We're going to break your window. We're going to break the window if you don't step out. And then you're coming out anyway. So. Okay, you're under arrest.
You know what? I'm gone. I'm gone.
Under arrest. You know what? I'm gone.
Get out of the car. Now, for driving without a license. Step out of the car.
Call your supervisor.
No, step out of the car.
Don't reach your window. My window.
Do not do this. Do not do this. Do not do this.
They're taking off.
Do not do this. Do not do this.
What's she hit?
Yeah, we got car fleeing now. May be on appeal. McNichols northbound. Just crashed out. Called Detroit.
Man.
Oh my God.
Took 2 people there. Don't do this.
Oh, they got babies in the car.
When you guys come up here and sit with them, I'll go take care of him.
Get on the fucking floor now! Get out of here! Get on the floor now! Get on the floor!
Stop! Wait, my sister. She didn't do nothing. She didn't do nothing.
I don't care. Get on the floor!
She didn't do nothing.
Just sit down!
Sister, just get down. I'm trying to get down. You can listen.
Turn around!
So unnecessary.
She didn't do nothing. She's pregnant. She didn't do. She's a backseat driver. Backseat driver. Please get her up.
Oh my God.
Sit down. Don't worry. No, I understand. Don't cause yourself problems.
Get up.
Nothing. Just keep.
You don't step out of the car.
Just it's a lesson. Don't do these things. Don't do what these people did. Don't do what Renee Good did. Don't do that with your vehicle. Don't do that. Yeah, that was the tough one of the day. Vibe check, indeed. I debated even playing it because it's so harsh, but there are actual consequences when you fuck around like that. Really bad things happen. I just don't know I don't know how people are not considering that there's a potential for really bad things happening based on their actions. I don't get it.
Is that him? Is that him? Yeah! Open the door!
Oh, this is when Jake Lang was attacked, and then he ended up hopping in with a vehicle to get out of there.
Oh my God. Drive. Oh my God. Just drive.
Okay. I got to get off a vacation for 5 minutes because I have to make this video because I've been seeing this shit all day. So my question is, where's the fucking Insurrection Act? I know that I saw many people calling for this. I thought that there was some talk about Donald Trump implementing this because all I can think of is this shit did not fucking happen on J6 like y'all fucking flick your bean to. It
Like y'all flick your bean to. But they'll certainly try to drum up a narrative and repeat it 1,000 times as if repeating it is going to make it more true, which it doesn't.
Did not. The shit that's going on right now, this is some straight up terrorism. Terrorism. Okay? So, action needs to happen now. This is enough is enough now. Okay? People need to go to jail forever, a long time, lock them up, throw away the key. Just like y'all did to J6ers for doing not this. They did not this. This isn't what J6ers did at all. Sorry at all. They took fucking pictures behind a desk while AOC said she was fucking scared buildings over. Fuck her. It's time to lock these motherfuckers up. Okay? I'm tired of seeing this shit. I think that the people in that city are tired of seeing this shit. This is acts of terrorism. You need to implement the fucking Insurrection Act now. Stop talking about it. Please do it. Thank you.
You gotta simmer things down, it seems. Marion says, I can't understand where all this resistance to law came from. Like Leon. Yeah, I know. Obama. Wild. All right, President Trump showed up at the national championship game last night. Cheered and booed. Cheered and booed. You can't play a couple seconds of NFL stuff without them flagging your video. Yeah, who was singing? Jamal, who won American Idol. Can't play it, but there you go. President Trump attended the game. All right, here's Della sharing this video from someone on TikTok, Redacted Radical.
Kill ICE agents. You know that?
Oh! Well, she's coming in off the top ropes, ain't she?
You can just kill them. They don't.
Are you? Are you hearing this?
You don't have to hold your phone in their face and ask people when their birthday is and ask people what their name is and then try to find wherever they end up in Los Angeles. You can kill them. This isn't about social media clout anymore. This isn't about video. This isn't about the phone. This is about get a gun and start killing ICE agents. They are deputized corrections officers. Kill them.
You heard it here first, folks. This woman that thinks she's a man wants you to go kill innocent people that are protecting our borders and taking down child sex trafficking rings.
Just kill ICE agents. You know that?
Beware, everybody. This is beyond unhinged out there. Empty people looking for meaning. Willing to use violence over backward ideas. That's a bold strategy. Let's see how that plays out for her. Stephen Crowder shared this and says ICE provided a list of crimes that were committed by illegal aliens that they've arrested in Minneapolis. In Minnesota. Strong arm sodomy. That's not good. Child restitution. Only the word isn't restitution. R and child touching. Homicide. If I say these words incorrectly, maybe I'll get past the AI algorithmic censorship regime. So why are white liberal women trying to protect these monsters? Anyone? I'll say we must break the brainwashing. I don't know how we can. I don't know if we can, but I think we need to break the brainwashing. Alyssa here says, just comply with ICE. It's the same way that you wanted us to comply with shutdowns and mandated vaccines and masks. Just comply. So just comply with ICE. Just comply. This would be a lot easier if you let them do their job, by the way. Marion says, I think they must be getting paid. Follow the money. Is anyone following the money? Like Leon, okay, Pam. Yeah, what's Pam doing? Sitting around? Yeah, just like how they said, the lefties, they said, hey, we're going to shut the world down. Yep, we're mandated. You got to inject this vaccine, and yep, you must wear masks, and we're in charge of your entire life now. You go, I don't recall ever. No, that's all non-starters. Thanks, but no thanks. I decline. And you said just comply. So just comply with ICE as they go get child abusers. This isn't rocket science. This is a fantastic post here. Very thought-provoking. It's got me sort of spun. Christina Hoff Summer. She writes, we've spent years worrying about young men being radicalized online. What if it's young women who should be our focus of concern? Zarathustra says political scientists and data quants have been telling us this for half a decade. Women have moved radically leftward at a scale and speed with no modern precedent, while men have, on the whole, remained largely steady and unchanged. And you can see it across the data. Lazy Dog says, yeah, propaganda works best on the emotional. Ooh. Partisan gap between young men and women almost doubled in the past 25 years. Yeah, take a look at that. 12-point gap back in 2000. Now it's a 23-point back, just about doubled. Wow, the women went 30 liberal points sideways, and the guys are just 11 conservative points to the right. 3 times into Crazyville. William A. Jacobson says, it continues to be striking how the most violent demonstrators are disproportionately young women, and it's been this way since October 7th. It is wild. We need RFK Jr. to approach this brainwashing as a public health emergency, because it is. Wow. I'm not sure if you saw this, but more than 100 vehicles involved in a massive pileup on I-96 near Hudsonville, Michigan. This is maybe from a day or two ago, leaving drivers stranded and told to stay in their cars. So do you have anything to keep you warm in your car? What if your heater was out? What if you ran out of gas? Do you have some gloves? Do you have any thermal? Do you have any battery-powered heat device? Like, do you have anything? Do you have any supplies in your car? Do you have anything you can eat? Do you have any clean, drinkable water? If you're going to be out in really rough conditions, what if? What if you're in a spot that you can't get help for many hours? Just, it's very cold, so be careful when you go traveling outside, please.
We're like 3 miles from our exit.
100+ car pileup. Just everything is a mess, and everything is down. Phew. So be careful out there on the roads, people. So Don Lemon is facing federal charges because of his church attack in Minneapolis. Take a listen here.
Then you've got Don Lemon here,
Don Lemon,
who thinks that this is somehow justified. This is his First Amendment rights. He doesn't understand the law, because Harmeet Dillon is now on record this morning saying that this was 100% a violation of the FACE Act, which protects places of worship, which protects people to, be free to go in pews to pray. So people are going to get charged. The only question is how many, how severe the charges are going to be, and so forth. And this guy is a washed-up media anchor who got fired from CNN. He is cosplaying as a activist, and he doesn't know how to do it. And he thinks that he's somehow protected from consequences because he's a journalist. And I would say Don Lemon, who basically gloried in the fact that you got to make people terrified. You got to traumatize people. That's what protests is all about. That's what he said. I hope you woke up this morning, Don Lemon, terrified in the knowledge that federal charges are likely coming for you.
Let's show the clips here. Which order do you want to do it in?
Well, I think we just start at 2:20. Let's get it where he's outside with these protesters. Operation Pull Up is what he calls it. 2:20.
They're in the middle of the church. In the beginning of the church service, the pastor was speaking, and Nikema stood up and said her piece, and then the protesters surrounded her. But this is a clandestine mission. I think they found out according to them, this is according to Operation Pull Up, that one of the pastors here is a member of ICE, and so.
Oh, okay. You can hear them just shouting, the bile, the vitriol, the anger just spewing out of these people's mouths. And by the way, we're going to have Megan Basham on at the second half of this hour, and she's done research on some of these protesters. Many of them have been arrested for this before. And so now you got to ask yourself, well, if they're getting out and they're doing it again, then maybe they're not getting, charged and in prison long enough. But this was crazy. So he starts talking to the pastor here, and the pastor I thought did a beautiful job. 2:26.
It's unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship. But there were folks who will. I have to take care of my flock. Because listen, we live in there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest. We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world.
And then you've got Don Lemon here, who thinks that this is somehow justified. This is his First Amendment rights. He doesn't understand the law because Harmeet Dillon is now on record this morning saying that this was 100% a violation of the FACE Act, which protects places of worship, which protects people to, be free to go in pews to pray. So people are going to get charged. The only question is how many, how severe the charges are going to be, and so forth. And this guy is a washed-up media anchor who got fired from CNN. He is cosplaying as a activist.
Was this the beginning of this, or did it reset, or is he just repeating himself?
And he doesn't know how to do it. And he thinks that he's somehow protected from consequences because he's a journalist. And I would say Don Lemon, who basically gloried in the fact that you got to make people terrified. You got to traumatize people. That's what protests is all about. That's what he said. I hope you woke up this morning, Don Lemon, terrified in the knowledge that federal charges are likely coming for you.
Let's show the clips here. Which order do you want to do it in?
Well, I think we just start at 2:20. Let's get it where he's outside with these protesters. Operation Pull Up is what he calls it. 2:20.
They're in the middle of the church. In the beginning of the church service, the pastor was speaking, and Nikema stood up and said her piece, and then the protest.
All right, you get it. Just everybody's so tired of talking. Just make the arrests already. You got to stop the stupidity.
When Donald Trump revived.
Truth Politica put this out, and it's going to show you a little bit of, well, at least their interpretation of why they think Donald Trump wants Greenland.
His push for Greenland, Europe mocked it. They missed the strategy. Greenland sits on the shortest missile route between Russia and North America. That's why the US runs early warning missile radar there. Arctic ice is melting.
And it's changing it. Well, I showed you this yesterday. 20, 30 years ago, there was no passage, and then there were 4 or 5, I think there were 5 different routes. One up here, one down there, and then it could branch 2 or 3 ways. It could branch 2 or 3 ways. And if you don't get a handle on it now, good luck getting a handle on it later. And you think of like Russia all the way over there, but it's not. You think of China all the way over there, but it's not. Shipping lanes matter.
By 2030.
And we do currently have a military partnership with them. We have a big base up there. I mean, is Denmark capable of improving the land and taking care of this area and keeping things safe? I don't think so.
5. Shipping between Europe and Asia could be 40% faster. Russia already dominates the Northern Sea route, backed by the world's largest icebreaker fleet, including nuclear-powered ships.
So they have the ability to run more ground in there, exert more control. Why wouldn't we want a presence there? Why wouldn't we want the presence to be strong?
Since 2014, Russia has built or reopened 50-plus Arctic military sites.
50 Arctic military sites. Are we keeping up?
Its nuclear submarines hide beneath Arctic ice, strengthening second strike capability.
It's a whole fleet of weapons. Where's it aimed at?
China calls itself a near-Arctic power. It links the region to its Polar Silk Road.
Near Arctic power. The Polar Silk Road? What's it say? Refers to the navigable Arctic sea routes connecting 3 major economic centers.
But the decisive battlefield is space. Early warning and surveillance satellites use polar orbits. Control the Arctic means control of missile detection and targeting. When Donald Trump revived his push for Greenland, Europe mocked it.
Golden Dome. So that was put in to the military budget. And I think President Trump said instead of $1 trillion, he's thinking more like $1.5 trillion. The tariffs are coming in, and there's a whole bunch of money to use there, allegedly. Do you have any strong thoughts on Greenland? I'm open to it. It's a whole untapped opportunity over there. Seems important. I don't know. Keep our eyes peeled. Are we going to wake up one day and we're going to have a deal? I was always wondered about like the Louisiana Purchase or Seward's Folly, and how did these deals happen? And I guess the story coming out of the State Department and some other offices is that they've been trying to do this for 150 years. They've been talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. It's like, just, okay, make it work. What would make this work? Make it work. Go, do it. Action, 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 action. So we'll see. Benny Johnson shares this. We told you this story before, but now apparently we have the video. BBC anchor literally hisses on air after a rapper says his biggest hero is Jesus Christ. Demonic. Take a listen. What's it say? DC3 receives 2 MOBO Award nominations. So is this guy supposed to be DC3? Let's take a listen.
And just quickly, who are your heroes?
My heroes are Santan Dave, Kendrick Lamar, most of all Jesus Christ.
Oh, well, it's lovely to meet you, Daniel Chenjerai.
Whoa! What? I think she breathed in. Not like. It was more. It was like a wincing.
Right. And just quickly.
What a weirdo. I don't think she was hissing outward. I think she was.
Who are your heroes?
My heroes are Santan Dave, Kendrick Lamar, most of all Jesus Christ.
Oh, well, it's lovely to meet.
That clip needs to be sampled. That clip should be sampled. She'll go down in history. This is wild.
Meet you, Daniel Chenjerai. And just quickly, who are your heroes?
My heroes are Santan Dave, Kendrick Lamar, most of all Jesus Christ.
Oh, well, it's lovely to meet you, Daniel Chenjerai. And just quickly.
That is wild. Can we export Green Day to Greenland? At this point. All right, third time, last time. This is wild. It's my first time hearing it.
Who are your heroes?
My heroes are Santan Dave, Kendrick Lamar, most of all Jesus Christ.
Oh, well, it's lovely to meet you, Daniel Chenjerai. And just.
Wow. David Harris Jr. shares this. Allegedly, if Instagram wants to open it. Transgender state representative Lee Fink of Minneapolis says he wants more anti-ICE protesters to storm churches. These people are listening to demons. Casey says 80% of my church is packing, so please. Yeah, they're going to run into the wrong church, says David Harris Jr. Yeah, Based says, so are we still calling those on the right the violent ones, or maybe not? Are we not doing that? Yeah, it's time for your Tylers, your deacons, your elders. It's time to protect yourselves. And it should always be a time to protect yourself, and that needs to be the number one job of the church. Wow. Mike shared this. Mike will be on Strictly Football with me today, 3 p.m. Eastern, on the Unhappy Hour. Mike Barra 333, follow his account, shared this. It says, this is happening, and there's not a damn thing anyone can do about it, especially not the Canadians. And this just shows the American expansion all the way up through Greenland. It is the landmass. It is the greater landmass there. Sort of feels inevitable, and Canada's been conquered, much like Minneapolis. Keep your eyes peeled, but it does seem inevitable. Whether you like it or not, please type in the comments about Greenland. Do you have any strong thoughts on it one way or another? What's this? Afraid of No woman says, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but Melissa Hortman was the only Democrat to vote against health care for illegal aliens in Minnesota. She was the deciding vote, and then she was eliminated. Incredible coincidence. Say her name. Melissa Hortman. Yeah, say her name. Minneapolis, Minnesota, rather. All right, Megyn Kelly talking with Matt Walsh about slavery. This was probably on their MLK episode from yesterday.
Census at the
From the 1860 census, she says, at the
very height of slavery, there were 393,975 slave owners in the U.S. That translates to about 1.2% of the population. The vast majority of American whites never owned any slaves.
Slavery was a legal institution in some places in Africa until the mid-20th century.
Mid-20th century. Still happening today in some places.
Two wrongs don't make a right. That doesn't mean that it's okay that America had slavery. Obviously, that's not the point. The point isn't that it was okay for Americans to have slaves. The point is that it's historically incoherent to pretend that America has some kind of special guilt for slavery, because when it comes down to it, guilt is shared by every country, but America's relationship with slavery was, if judged against other countries at the time and other regions of the world, was much better and lasted for a much shorter period of time.
There you go. If you'd like to dispute that, do so in the comments. Yeah, there's no special guilt. There's a global scourge. By the way, that stuff's happening right now with the human trafficking that's coming up when you let 40 million illegal alien invaders sneak into your country. So you need to identify them. You need to save the kids, save the women, save the people who are being abused right now, because it is happening. Where's the compassion for those efforts? That is definitely a part of what ICE is doing. So to just paint with a broad brush, ICE bad, I good, you bad, I good, I so smart, you bad, dumb, mean. Lake Leon says he's 100% for the Greenland deal. Why are you 100% for the Greenland deal? In which way? Like, for which reason? This post here says it's illegal to bring a plant across the border because it might upset the ecosystem. Especially if you've been in the American Southwest, you're coming up through Mexico or crossing Texas, Arizona, New Mexico. There's checkpoints at the states. Because if you bring a plant across the border, it might upset the ecosystem, and you want to be careful of that. Do you have any fruits or produce? Do you have any plants? But what if you bring millions of people from third world countries? Is that going to make America better? I'm all ears. Let's see how much music ICE is going to put in the, I'm sorry, DHS is going to put in this video.
This is Micah Bach, Deputy Assistant Secretary at the Department of Homeland Security. This week in Minneapolis, federal agents pressed forward with critical operations to arrest dangerous criminal illegal aliens
and uncover the largest fraud scandal in American history. I want to take a moment to explain why DHS is in Minneapolis in the first place, he says. I don't want the music in the background here to flag the video. But I just want to listen to him.
What brought federal agents away from the warmth and safety of their families and into Minnesota? The answer is simple.
The criminal actions of the Democrats.
Sanctuary policies of Minneapolis and Minnesota have created an existential threat to the American citizens living in these communities.
It's a security breach. It's a massive security breach. It's dangerous right now.
Here's how. It all starts with decisions around if state law enforcement will, well, enforce the law.
There's too much music. I can't. Fuck. If an illegal alien... Doggone it. Whatever I do here is going to be wrong. I don't want to read 3 minutes of this. I just want to listen to it. It's from Department of Homeland Security. Shouldn't the music be cleared? Is copyright free? Shouldn't it theoretically be if you want to get the message out? If I play this message and it gets flagged, it's counterproductive. Let it roll.
Crimes. Federal law enforcement will...
So if an illegal alien commits a crime, federal law enforcement issues a detainer and says, give me that guy.
Will issue what's called a detainer to state and local law enforcement, asking for them to be detained until they can be taken into federal custody. This is the ideal scenario. Criminals stay safely behind bars, agents are able to easily apprehend them, and communities are free to walk the streets without fear of attack from criminal illegal aliens.
These sanctuary cities have done the opposite. And they're expunging records. They're hiding criminal acts. I got that story when we switch over to X. But the more you learn about this, the more appalled you're going to be at what the Democrats have devolved into. To burn it all down and rule over the ashes.
The crisis in Minnesota is a direct result of Governor Walz and leaders in Minneapolis intentionally deciding to take these known criminals who have violated the law and release them back into the streets.
There is no universe where it's appropriate to release apprehended criminals into our streets. You get them the hell out. There's no universe. Hi. You want to jump up or do you want some food? Aw, buddy. I think you want some food. I'll get you some. You need to identify the people so that you can scan and sift and get the bad people out. If people want to stay, they can reapply. You can go to the front of the, well, not to the front of the line, but you can go to the back of the line and you can reapply to become a citizen of the country. But we need you to check in. We need you to check in at hotels. You got to check in at Disneyland. You got to check in at a nightclub. Anything you do, you got to check in. Of course, we want to filter out really bad people from the country.
Now, federal agents must undertake a dangerous task. Find, apprehend, detain, and deport criminals who had already been under lock and key.
They were already arrested, and it was the Democrats' intentional acts to re-release them back. If you captured poison, why would you then dump it back into your water supply? It doesn't make any sense.
This is how society crumbles. When state leaders choose to defy federal law release criminals into their communities, and then urge violent mobs to riot while federal law enforcement works to arrest the criminals that the state leaders released.
It's double stupid.
In Minnesota, Walz's revolving door of justice has released nearly 470 violent criminal illegal aliens back onto Minnesota streets.
Unacceptable.
Since President Trump took office. These are murderers, rapists, child sex abusers, and more. These sanctuary politicians are making communities volatile. They're refusing to hand over criminals to ICE, and they are putting Americans at risk.
If we know that what they're doing is illegal with these criminal sanctuary city policies, why aren't we indicting the DAs? Why aren't we forcing a law change? What will it take?
On Wednesday evening, during a routine traffic stop of a Venezuelan national illegally in the country, the suspect resisted arrest, fled, crashed his vehicle, and then assaulted a federal officer who was working to safely arrest him.
Great.
This criminal illegal alien was then joined by 2 accomplices, also illegal aliens, who swarmed our officer with a snow shovel and broom handle, beating him mercilessly. Ambushed 3-on-1 and fearing for his life, the federal officer fired a defensive shot, striking an assailant in the leg.
Have you heard about this story, and have you heard it presented very differently?
If Walz and Frey truly believed in protecting Minnesotans, they would be cooperating with ICE, honoring detainers, and keeping these threats locked up or removed. We wouldn't see federal agents surging into Minneapolis, putting their lives on the line in these volatile situations like this.
Doesn't need to be like this.
Sanctuary policies don't make communities safer. They create the very conditions for escalation and endanger everyone, including the dedicated men and women of federal law enforcement who are left to clean up the mess.
That's what the Democrats brought us.
Americans deserve better. Law and order starts with leaders who put citizens first, not criminals. One thing is abundantly clear.
What's abundantly clear is we got to pick a side here.
This is a struggle of order versus anarchy. Law and order will prevail over the forces of chaos seeking to empower criminals over citizens. We'll see you next week.
All right. Well, let's hope that that music was playable, because I played it. It's an important message to combat all the misinformation and disinformation out there. There's a lot of weird stuff going on right now. What is this? Johannes Coenraad. Says, shocking. The town of Tilburg, Netherlands, close to where I grew up, a church service was rebranded as an event so police could arrest churchgoers. The reason? Local mayor Ono Hose didn't like the anti-LGBT sermon that was going to be held. The church service leader was then brutally arrested while giving an interview before the sermon. At the same time, of course, Islamic preachers are allowed to call for terror against unbelievers.
En wat vind je van de protesten, zeg maar, die zeggen van dat jij...
We zijn aan het interviewen.
En wat vind je...
Okay, so from hissing at the word Jesus to arresting somebody who's trying to preach, it's happening. Here's a dude who gets attacked and maced by Antifa while riding the bus in Philadelphia, allegedly. So this says, breaking 911, make her famous, liberal loses it, assaults 2 conservative independent journalists on a Philadelphia bus. Take a watch.
You talk shit about Islamic people, you talk shit about black people, you talk shit about Mexicans, and you post it on the internet.
Come here.
What am I?
Oh, she doesn't want to be on camera now. Why not? Whoa. I'll record. All right. Good. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? I mean, you're so good. What am I?
Are you still gonna film me?
Whoa. How am I a fascist? Whoa, whoa, whoa! She missed. She got up the back of my head with pepper spray. That was interesting. She's still there.
Fuck you. And
Why?
fuck the shit that you
She's coming back. You're gonna get fucking. Okay, so her name's Paulina. Paulina Reyes.
There she is. You want to wait? You want to hang out for the cops?
She's coming back. Yeah, she's gonna wait for the cops.
You're racist,
She's coming
you're
back.
fascist, and you fucking harass people.
You want to hang out?
That's your fucking problem.
You want to hang out for the cops?
How am I a racist?
You want to hang out?
How are you racist? How are you racist on the fucking internet?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa.
Go and see.
Why are you so mad?
Why? Because you talk shit about Islamic people, you talk shit about black people, you talk shit about Mexicans,
When?
and you post
Whoa.
it on the internet.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Right here.
There you go.
You good?
Second pepper spray, baby. Better than ever. If you would like to contribute so we can get a car and not get harassed on buses, surgemedia.us. All contributions are appreciated. We're never going to stop. They can pepper spray me, they can mace me all they want. I will never stop. But it's a beautiful day here in Philadelphia. And yeah, I guess that happens every once in a while.
You talk shit about Islamic people, you talk shit about black people, you talk shit about Mexicans,
When?
and you post
Whoa.
it on the internet.
Come here. Come here.
What am I? Oh, she doesn't want to be on camera now.
Oh boy. Welcome to the universe, people.
She's
We're on the same page with Rashida Tlaib now.
referencing a Department of Homeland Security tweet or social media post. And it's just talking about deporting foreigners. And she's holding it up and she's upset, but she does make a great point.
Look at this. We'll have our home again. What does that evoke in you when you see this? It literally, when I see it as a Muslimah, as a Palestinian, as a child of immigrants, I see that this is something that is evoking, like, I'm not welcome here.
Yes. Yes. You're finally getting it. I'm so happy we're finally on the same page. Yes, you're getting this completely. 100%. Yes. Rashida Tlaib. I want you to know I find this so exciting. We don't have very much in common, but we are finally on the same page about something. You're not welcome here. We don't want you here. We want you to be denaturalized and deported. And in fact, hold on. It goes beyond that. Your whole family, too. Everybody you know. In fact, if you've ever worked for or with Rashida Tlaib, we don't want you here either. This is awesome. This is wonderful that they're finally starting to get it. I honestly, I heard this. I was so excited.
We'll have our home again. What does that evoke in you when you see this? It literally, when I see it as a Muslimah, as a Palestinian, as a child of immigrants, I see that this is something that is evoking, like, I'm not welcome here.
Yes. Yes. And what's more, and this is important, Rashida, now that we're together on something, this is important. I want you to tell some of your friends, too. Sri Tandahar, he went on Fox News.
That Shri person.
Said this.
And you couldn't stand for them because you were playing politics. Is that right? I want this audience
to know. Look, I would not stand for this president. I would not stand for this president.
We don't want him here either. Please, don't Rashida, hold on. I don't want to be offensive. I don't want you to think that only applied to you. There are so many millions more just like you. We also don't want them here either. She's referencing a Department of Homeland Security.
Thoughts? Rashida Tlaib, has she ever taken a policy position you've agreed with?
You talk shit about Islamic.
I meme, therefore I am, says unhinged leftist who attacked an independent journalist on a Philly bus, punching and pepper spraying Frank Scales, has been identified as Paulina Reyes, an intern at WHYY News, allegedly. Common Sense Guy says, this girl is the result of facing no consequences for her actions. She's lucky conservatives are not violent and usually take the abuse. One of these days, her behavior will end up with the find out and she'll be done, all because she's basically just a crappy human, says Common Sense Guy. The Arnold says it would be nice to see the part of the video that led to this. Not says she called him a fascist as she physically attacked him because his viewpoints and beliefs were not the same as hers. There you go. Which is fascism. They project what they are. All right. Possible ice age.
Climate scientists are at it again, claiming the Gulf Stream could be nearing collapse.
I hope the Gulf Stream doesn't near collapse, everybody.
And predicting a future ice age. Now, this sounds familiar. I remember in the 80s, they said
70s, 80s, they told us about it.
There was a hole in the ozone, right? So they
no more hairspray, no more Aquanet.
Decided to raise the taxes to help fix that issue. And then
it's like the Green New Scam, raise taxes.
In the 2000s, the seas were rising. Remember that? And
Al Gore, right? Inconvenient Truth, hockey stick.
Polar bears were like, let's save those fucking polar bears. And they're like, how do we fix this? And they're like, raise the fucking taxes.
Yeah, that'll fix everything. Just raise the taxes. I might have a new, I told you that I have a Scott Adams-sized hole in my heart. His daily show would often be on in the background while feeding the cats or working on things in the day leading up to our show here. So as certain stories would come up, I would be alerted to, I might want to share some stuff. I might want to talk about that. What are some good takes on this story? Now, that being said, I might have found a new favorite news source here.
And then now, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. So, hey, government's got it all squared away, so we're totally fine.
There you go. So if you got a possible ice age concern, meet your new newscaster from Foxy News. Foxy News. Moving on. Whew. Boy, oh boy. This post was so good. Arian Wexler, Arine Wexler says, Minnesota is if Jerry Springer and Al Jazeera had a baby. Shit. Minnesota is if Al Jazeera and Jerry Springer had a baby. Wow. I feel like there might have been other good posts on this one. Let's Dumb Bitch Capital says, wow, Trump really is a dictator. You really can't run over cops like you used to. Andrew Quaxon says, if you want to play dress up as revolutionary communists, don't be surprised when you get treated like a revolutionary communist. I don't know what that means. Harrison Crank says, guys, everybody calm down. She was only trying to run over ICE agents. It's not like she was doing something crazy like speaking freely on a Utah college campus. Paulos Golden Age. Apparently, if a liberal steps on the gas while you're directly in front of her car, you're supposed to read her mind like a Jedi while the tires are squealing to determine if she intends to turn you into pavement paste or merely side check you with her 2-ton SUV as she escapes. Come on. Marco Rubio, when he realized he has to run Minnesota now. Wow, Abby Libby says, ICE agents are not curbs. You're not allowed to hit them just because you're a woman. Oh, jeez. There's a lot of good jokes in here. Just it's hard to find the funny in a tragedy sometimes. Carmine Sabia says, one thing we know for certain, if Renee Nicole Good had been K'd by an illegal alien, it would not have even made the news. Holy shit. That's an excellent point. Doomer says, at this point, we need to be honest about the situation that this country is in. Donald Trump is Voldemort. Tim Waltz is Obi-Wan Kenobi. ICE is the Hunger Games. Venezuela is upside down. J.D. Vance is Marty Supreme. And Elon Musk is La Boo Boo. Zoran Mamdani is 67. Yeah, I don't even know what's happening in that phrase anymore. Yeah, Minnesota's if Jerry Springer and Al Jazeera had a baby. That was the one that brought me there. Iranians are burning mosques. How's that going to play out? Will Iran get their freedom back? They've been living under a totalitarian regime for a long time. Oh, there's a little bit of music here. Do the Iranians want freedom? Or do they want to be subjugated?
How many?
Of course, the age-old question, how many genders do we have? Quick, type in the comments. How many genders do we have? Let's see if you agree with this guy.
How many genders are there?
There are actually 0 genders. There are 2 sexes, 0 genders, and infinite personalities.
Infinite personalities. Can't we be okay with that? We used to be okay with that. Judge a person by the content of their character and their personality. Not some predefined term that needs to be stated. There's a male and a female. Infinite personalities.
Because that just sums us all up. But the left has taken the word gender and they've corrupted it to mean just a feeling. And what's that feeling based off? It's based off what are really sexist and regressive stereotypes of what it means to be a boy and a girl. So I just reject it completely. I say there are 2 sexes.
How many genders?
There you go. 2. 2 genders. 2 sexes. 2 sexes. Can you be specific, Miraculous Botanical? Specifically, what are you saying? That I don't consume leftist media. And that I believe as I'm told. I believe as I believe. I believe as I believe. All right.
IRS snooping begin.
Yeah, just a reminder. In 2022, Biden and the Democrats did this.
New tax policies requiring third-party payment networks like Venmo, PayPal, and others to report transactions of $600 or more to the Internal Revenue Service for tax purposes. Hillary Vaughn is live in Washington.
Remember all this stuff that the Democrats were pushing?
With the details for us.
So interesting, because just 4 years later, things have kind of changed.
Hi, Hillary.
Hi, Jackie. Well, the idea behind this rule is to catch people cheating on their taxes or make sure people are paying taxes they owe on income that they're making. But the new rule is really not going to put a bullseye on billionaires. Instead, it's going to be a big burden on a lot of small businesses.
All the little guys, all the rest of us. The grand Democrat plan to squeeze us all. Remember when they got in charge and they raised our energy prices through the roof? Gas was $5-6 a gallon. You know, because reasons.
People that get paid by their customers and clients for goods and services through these apps like Zelle, PayPal, and Venmo. So this new rule would say transactions in those apps over $600 for goods and services now have to be reported to the IRS. This hits people like hairstylists, housekeepers, those in the gig economy, small shops at trade shows.
All those things. But, you know, flash forward just 4 short years, and now Democrats don't want a single investigation into the $9 billion of Somali fraud. Just try to compare that for a second. Try to compare that. Who's this? Headlines and quotes. Says, if you haven't figured out yet that Democrats are using riots and chaos to distract you from their fraud, you're either a moron or willfully stupid. Obama used ICE to deport 3 million illegal aliens, most without excessive due process. They didn't handle Obama that way. It's just now under MAGA. It's just now under Trump. It's a great distraction. This was a pretty wild clip. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. This is Scott Jennings being corrected, air quotes, being corrected by whoever this guy is next to him. I'm not familiar with the guy next to him. but this goes weirdly.
Say the word illegals anymore.
And you have.
The
I
diverse, the percentage.
Who are you to tell me what I can and can't? I've never met you, brother.
I've never met you, brother. He tells him you don't say the word illegals anymore. Don't say that anymore. He's like, don't tell me what I can and can't say.
I can say whatever I want. They're illegal aliens, and that's what the law calls them, illegal aliens. That's what I'm going to call them.
Right. Listen, you can't say illegals anymore because ICE is directly targeting legal citizens of this country. And
How are you going to enforce your edict on me, just out of curiosity?
Listen, I understand.
But just listen to his point about illegal.
No, I want to know why he gets to
it's
instruct
not, you're
my
changing
speech.
the topic.
Yeah, he must instruct his speech now. It's the same thing Jordan Peterson went through.
You're making a point making
about
an emotional
people being
plea.
arrested. Go
I
ahead.
understand that your job is predicated on just getting increasingly more demented every single week, and that the audience comes back to see if perhaps
Make your point.
My point is that you're saying the word illegals, but
it's in
you
federal
don't
law.
even really know what's happening. Or actually, I think you do, and
Sure
you're
I do.
doing this on purpose. But
Yes,
the truth
because
is,
I want the law enforced.
they are not just targeting illegal immigrants.
They
They
are.
are targeting natural-born U.S. citizens.
They are not.
That is a fact. You
They are
cannot
not.
deny that. I mean, you can on national television.
They are
deny
not.
facts all the time.
They
You've
are
done it a
not.
couple times in this very episode.
I still want to know how you're going to enforce your language edicts on me.
We'll take that up.
How are we going to enforce it?
We're going to take that up in the break. Coming. I
You don't
recognize
get
you
to
haven't
say the
reviewed
word
all the material.
illegals
You don't say the word illegals around me.
anymore.
And
But
you
there's
have.
the
I don't.
diverse, the percentage.
Who are you to tell me what I can and can't? I've never met you, brother. I can say whatever I want. They're illegal aliens, and that's what the law calls them, illegal aliens.
What a weird backfire on this. Who is this? Who is this weird kid? And where does he get off? What we may and may not say. Well, it wasn't 100% of the people, so therefore it's a lie. Okay. Scott Jennings, everybody. I think the only reason to watch CNN.
This is.
And here's a little rando contribution to the show today. Michael Knowles talking about Christian Zionism. Oh,
Why?
You see it. Michael Knowles of Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire says he rejects Christian Zionism and does not identify as one. The comment says, anyone checked on Mike Huckabee?
I would not call myself a Zionist,
So you-
or a Christian Zionist, or any other kind of Zionist. It's not because I don't like the Jews, and it's not because I don't even support the state of Israel. As I think I've made clear, I am broadly supportive of the nation state of Israel. But I am broadly supportive of it not because I believe in the principles of Zionism, which makes certain historical claims and religious claims that I just don't think are true. I don't think that the Jews are entitled to the Holy Land because of some religious premise. I don't think that's true. In fact, being Christian, I believe that the Old Testament is fulfilled in the New Testament. Christ is the new covenant, the fulfillment, everything that was typified in the Old Testament is fulfilled in Christ and the church as the new and spiritual Israel. So I don't buy those religious premises, and I don't believe just because a people was on a plot of dirt 2,000 years ago that means they're entitled to it today. If that were the case, we'd have to turn the Black Hills we'd have to turn Mount Rushmore over to the Lakota Sioux. I don't believe any of that. And yet, I am broadly supportive of the nation state of Israel because I don't like the alternatives. I don't like the idea of giving Iran more power in the Holy Land. I don't think the Muslims have been particularly protective of the holy sites. Sometimes they've been better than others, but the Ottoman Empire doesn't exist anymore. The current options in the Holy Land are not great, and we're probably not reestablishing Baldwin's kingdom anytime soon. So as a practical political matter, then also on the point of international law, the Jews were bequeathed some of this territory by the British Empire, which had control of it after the Ottoman Empire. They then had a declaration from the United Nations purporting to advance international law, and they fought a war of conquest. So any way you slice it, it seems to me that according to the current nation state system, they basically have a right to it. But crucially, that is not Zionism. And it doesn't imply anything as a matter of biblical prophecy for the modern nation state of Israel. You can...
By the way, note the creeping image of Ben Shapiro in the bottom right of that image. Or that video. It's kind of
support Israel. If you want, you don't have to support the nation state of Israel, but if you do, you can do so without adhering to the relatively novel theology of Christian Zionism. You can like the Jews. I love the Jews. I grew up in New York. I'm very philo-Semitic, okay? If you told me if I had to make a choice between hanging out and eating a pastrami sandwich with the guys who make pastrami sandwiches and eating shawarma with the guys who make shawarma, I'm taking the pastrami sandwich 100 out of 100 times, okay? Maybe 999 out of 1,000 times. I'm going with the pastrami sandwich. You can be philo-Semitic and not adhere to the relatively novel ideology of Christian Zionism. That's clearly what the patriarchs of Jerusalem are saying. Anyone suggesting that this is a break with tradition or anti-Semitic or anything like that, I think is just totally insane. This is why I would not call myself a Zionist.
All right. Something to consider. Agree or disagree with Michael Knowles there.
Okay.
All right, this lady, Heather Overstreet, says the Republicans were right. I got to research this one. All right, I'll try to research it real quick.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. When the Republicans were saying that illegal immigrants are voting and turning the states blue, I did not believe them. And the reason that I didn't believe them was because I was like, well, you have to have a driver's license. And in order to have a driver's license, you have to have a social security number. And if there were any other government documents that you had to have in order to vote, those also require a social security number, and only American citizens can obtain those. But then I discovered that there are 14 states out of 50 that do not require any type of identification at the polls. For those 14 states, there's an exception where they may be required to show ID. And then in quite a few states also, there are government-issued IDs to non-citizens where they...
According to Grok, yes, 14 U.S. states don't require any form of identification, neither photo ID nor non-photo ID to vote in person at the polls on Election Day. Are you kidding me? That's not a legit vote then. That is insane. California, Hawaii, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Nevada, New Mexico, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Vermont. Ooh. Time for the SAVE Act.
They can vote for certain municipalities. And then there are 12 states that require documentation, but no photo ID required. So it could literally be something like a utility bill. And that's not counting the 14 I listed earlier.
A utility bill. That does not prove that you're on the team. You don't get to just go into the locker room because you're wearing a shirt of your favorite team. You're not. You don't go into the Denver Broncos training facility because you're wearing one of their shirts. Come on.
So we're already over 50% of the entire country that does not have proper documentation to vote.
Well, is that 14 plus 12, or that was the 12 was encompassed in the 14? I'm not sure.
And then there are 9 states that request your
Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Idaho, Louisiana, Michigan, Rhode Island, South Dakota, Texas.
Photo ID, but offer alternative ways to vote like an affidavit. There are only 10 states in America that
Georgia, Indiana, Kansas, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, effective 2024, North Carolina, Ohio, Tennessee, and Wisconsin.
That strictly require photo government ID to vote. The Republicans were not wrong. And this was the source.
And so when you have up to 40 million illegal alien invaders who have been pre-positioned in this country by the Democrat Party, they're trying to sway the vote, the political power, the pull, the money, the resources. No.
Source I used, in case anybody was curious, it's nonpartisan.
Vote Riders. I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, I'm not going to.
All right. Well, that was her take on that. Oh, here's a good story. See, it's not just ICE that can hunt down criminal predators to remove the poison out of our community. Check this one out. This is maybe my favorite story of the day. Libs of TikTok reporting that a hero citizen in Florida follows this person, spotted with what he was spotted with, until the cops arrive. Take a listen. This is 10 News local. Which channel is this? I don't know. Flagler County. Yeah, Flagler. I know Flagler. This is St. Augustine area, right? Maybe. All right, here we go.
591, where's the location of your emergency?
Yes, ma'am. There's a child pedophile with 2 kids in his truck. One's a runaway.
Where are you at, sir?
He's coming down US 1. His name's Darnell.
Flagler Sheriff's Office.
A caller who knew Harrison and knew he is a registered sex offender just happened to see him on the road. He dialed 911 after spotting him with what looked like 2 underage boys in the car.
Somebody that knew their local pedo.
Do you know this person?
He's our neighborhood child pedophile, and there's 2 missing kids that run away from out there, and he's got 2 teenage boys in the back of his truck.
The caller followed the truck down US 1.
You don't have to continue following.
Oh, no, I'm following until I see a cop pull his over because he's got 2 kids in his car. Because if a cop don't pull him over, I'm going to pull him over, and it ain't going to be pretty.
People have pretty much reached that point. It seems like nobody's getting indicted. Nobody's getting arrested. You're not going to sit by and watch demons do demon shit. You're just not. You got to protect the kids.
Deputies ultimately found the truck and after a bit of a struggle, had Harrison in handcuffs.
Who got my truck? Who got my truck?
All right, I appreciate it. Law enforcement stopped the vehicle.
Yeah, they got him. Thank you.
All right, thank you. 591 was looking.
Hero, dude. Here's such a good story. I should end there. But unfortunately, I do have a couple more unfortunately, the show continues. That would be a nice way to end it on a happy note. I mean, relatively speaking, I mean, those kids could have already been abused at this point, which would be horrendous, but he was caught. This is drivers of the red car who helped this Jake Lang escape.
You guys know how Jake Lang was carried off by a violent mob the other day, and the only way that he
One of my colleagues was out there filming this. I was talking with him about that this morning.
escaped was running up to this red car and asking to get in. Well, the drivers of the red car have spoken out, and they've got some pretty interesting things to say.
So let me give y'all the rundown on what just happened.
What is this? What is this? All right.
Us, in case we do go like viral or whatever the case is.
Oh, we're listening.
Yeah, we are listening. There's music in the background, though. I don't want to get in.
This guy, still don't even know his full name. Jake is all I know. See him run up to our car and
Jake from State Farm.
he's like, can I please get in? Can I please get in? Like, they hurt me so bad, da 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 da. So in our head, it's like, oh my God, like, was he just attacked by ICE? Like,
We
he was
thought
in-
ICE was after him, so we're like, okay, whatever, like hop in the freaking car real quick.
So they're helping because they thought he was attacked by ICE.
And then all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of people coming here and storming us and like beating up the car, ruining the car, pulling this dude out. Like, what is
like
going on?
surrounding the car.
So that's when you realized it wasn't ICE being the violent ones and attacking an innocent man.
It was the opposite. It was the peaceful mob.
Like, we saw an injured man, so like obviously we're gonna help because we're not bad people. Literally, the longer we sat there, the longer he fought them off, and the more damage was happening to Leah's car. So we had to leave with him in the car. Like, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I just go around the block and I'm like, you know what, like, you need to get out.
Wait, I thought you said you were good people because you wouldn't leave an injured man on the side of the road in the hands of an angry mob.
What is going on? Like, whose side are you on right now? Because like, this is not okay.
So to sum
Whose side are you on? Should I throw you to the wolves?
up, they thought it was ICE being violent and they were going to help this injured man.
You know, because to some people, every day is just a day to complain about ICE and call ICE all the worst names imaginable.
Because they're good people. But then they found out that the people committing the violence were actually their friends. It's totally fine that they almost destroyed her car. And suddenly they flipped their position and this man that was hurt is suddenly on his own. All because they disagree with him politically. Just so we're clear, you're not good people.
It's just, it's wild. I mean, he got rocked out there. I can't show you this because, well, because they don't they don't like you showing. Here, let me minimize this. But this is that final play of Mendoza going in and getting hit and spinning and lunging for the touchdown. I think I'll show you this little last clip here because this is where it's kind of sweet. He goes in for the touchdown, and then they instantly cut to this. His very attractive mother here. Apparently, the father of the Heisman winner, Mendoza, stays sitting during the celebrations to include his wife, who has multiple sclerosis. She can't cheer her son on, so they celebrate while sitting. And I don't know. I don't know the whole backstory of the Indiana team, and I don't know the whole backstory of the family, but it was very sweet. It was weird. It's like, why do they show it? Okay, wait, I didn't even, I wasn't listening to the game, so I didn't even realize the backstory. She can't stand, and what are they doing? I don't know. I sort of like Mendoza. I mean, their team did really well this year. Their team did well. I'm happy for them. So, but yeah, that was just a very nice moment. It adds a little bit of awe to the story. So there's that. Hi, Nimbus. All right, that is what I had prepared for you on our Instagram feed. Coming up in 40 minutes will be strictly football, which I do need to get set up. So it's going to be a bit of a lightning round on X. That'll be myself, Mike Barrett, Jim Mitchell, Ezra L. Robinson here on Strictly Football, brought to you by the Unhappy Hour here on the New American Media. Hit like, hit subscribe, please. Also, remember, we have Rumble, Rants, and Super Chats if you'd like to throw something into the tip jar. Been out here playing music on the street corner with the guitar case open. If you like anything, if you enjoy the camaraderie, the conversation, the banter, the jokes, the tough times, I'll be on your side forevermore. That's what tips are for. Okay, check out our X feed here. Let's go to it. Yes, Nimbus is here. Okay, pinned to the top of our page is our Patreon link. At least sign up for our free Patreon. And if you'd like to subscribe for like $10 a month or $100 a month or $1,000 a month, it's right here on Patreon. This is the link to my interview with Mr. John B. Wells of Caravan to Midnight, talking about the deep state and God and Trump and Biden, World War III and all those things. Click it and consider signing up. Okay. Greg Gutfeld had a nice piece on Scott Adams. Don't have time to read it. Do I have time to read a little bit of it? Scott Adams was the man who interrogated reality and made it talk. I came into Scott Adams accidentally in 2015, but it couldn't have come at a better time for me, he says. If we're lucky, they say when you're born, you come into life with no instruction manual. If we're lucky, we inherit a good set of parents who set us up with good habits and sound thinking. We might pursue a religious practice, embrace an education, and learn to think for ourselves. Others might not be so lucky. Anxious and unsure, we turn to other things to make sense of reality: drugs, alcohol, sex, or easy money. Without a set of instructions we rely on what we think is our operating system, the ego, and we protect it with our might. It is the ego, after all, that gets us into fights, creates resentments, and wastes our time thinking about the past. Ignoring the glories of our present, we find ourselves angry and irritable, pissed off at a coworker, cut off from a relative, mad over current events. Some of us in this group are feeling that now, by the way. And it is a devotion to an ego that makes us powerless to predict life's terms or life's turns. We end up more wrong than right, and our ego rages in response. I came across Scott Adams accidentally, writes Greg Gutfeld, but it couldn't have come at a better time for me. It was around 2015 or so when I was hot and bothered by Donald Trump. Like some in our group, maybe. My friends and relatives had jumped aboard the Trump train, but I resisted, and resentfully so. I had my reasons for it, no doubt, but I never questioned what lurked beneath those reasons. Turns out it was self-doubt, the weak armor of an insecure ego. I found myself dreading work and angry that nearly all my predictive powers had failed. Every day I would say, Trump's finished, and he only got stronger. This wasn't like me. But one day on Twitter, some soul I'll never be able to thank tweeted a simple suggestion. Read Scott Adams. And in a rare moment, I decided to heed a comment on Twitter. I Googled Scott's blog, and it changed my life. Scott was already a world-famous cartoonist, of course, the creator of Dilbert. He had a pile of best-selling books. But I knew little of the world, and I had no idea that what I would discover when I entered the Scott Adams universe, a place where the most profound thinker ruled with a cup of coffee, a goofy grin, and a deep understanding of moist robots, i.e. humans. Scott loved humans, but understood the nature of their pain, caused by how little they understood the reality behind the one that they took as real. While some people would tell you they knew life's secrets in order to impress upon you their brilliance, Scott was only trying to help. That's why Dilbert was so successful. He was expressing the reality behind the reality. And we immediately got the joke. Reality is subjective, and we see things as we think they are, not how they really are. and we foolishly make predictions based upon those assumptions. We had no easy answer to life. We had no answer key to life. And for many of us, that led us to making the same mistakes over and over. But Scott explained to us the conceptual reality behind the physical one. And it was the world of persuasion. He calmly explained how it operates, which in time made it possible to almost predict everything. Once you knew how persuasion worked, you could see it around most corners. This was the difference between Scott and most intellectuals who were trying to flex their brilliance. They were interested in reversing reality, but Scott was merely trying to explain it. And he did that every morning. It was then daily that I listened to Coffee with Scott Adams, certain I would glean some valuable insight into the world, and that prediction never failed. He would offer reframes of issues and ideas that would change the way I looked at things. I remember Scott talking about the joys of being fired. Having been fired 3 times in my life, I remember being angry and resentful after each one. Turned out, as Scott pointed out, I should have been grateful, because each firing was a step forward into a better career. My life never got worse after being fired. It only got better. And this pretty much holds true for everyone. Being unhappy over a firing was based on a faulty assumption that the game had just ended, when in fact, you were just entering a new level. The game started anew, and you could do anything. It also helped that he framed getting fired, as well as getting dumped, through the same simple filter, that the relationship was not a good fit. Once you look at losing a job or if you look at losing a girl as not a good fit, you've eliminated a wound on your ever-present ego. It's not about you. The ego is something that we all have and few can control. Usually the ego runs our lives, often into the ground. But Scott reframed it with an analogy, and I quote it often. Imagine a person asks you to carry an original Picasso down the block to a gallery. You oblige, and the journey is harrowing. You pack up the painting, you wait for the rain to stop, you walk carefully and timidly, step by tiny step, terrified of pedestrians and puddles. Now, imagine that same person asking you to carry a potato. Sure, no problem. You throw the spud in your pocket and head out. And if you drop it, no big deal. It's just a potato. Then comes Scott's kill shot on the ego. Right now, your ego is a Picasso. From now on, think of it as a potato. And when I did that, I felt a weight lift. I've worried less about slights, worried less about embarrassments. If I was wrong, I embraced it. In fact, losing the ego enabled me to see the worth in being wrong, for it merely sharpened my own ideas. I abandoned the sunk cost fallacy and learned to leave stupid opinions behind. Scott believed in a higher power, and there is more to the world than just the physical reality. He put his money on a simulation, that God might actually be a programmer. He would often point to an underlying structure that guides us. Scott hadn't invented the idea. He was simply discovering things about life and shared them with you. This is why when you listened to his morning show, you felt that you were on an anthropological dig, led by an incredibly brilliant archaeologist sifting through today's news, showing us the things that we overlooked, things that point to a reality we didn't know existed. You might call it God or a simulation, but it was there all right, a design and a designer. Adams pointed to a conceptual reality that lurks behind the physical one, and without understanding that secret knowledge, we are often disappointed and resentful. When Scott would go to his whiteboard during his podcast, he would explain this clearly and without ego. He used his unique power for good, showing you how to reframe things like laziness or failure, death or loss in ways that bettered your existence. He often referred to the mind's mental shelf space. And while you cannot stop thinking bad thoughts, which depress you, you can crowd that stuff out and off the shelf with positive thoughts, which is why he championed positive affirmations. His treatment for laziness is quick and effective. Imagine the outcome instead of the effort. I need to say that about putting my new TNAM Daily Show intro together. That tip combined both the affirmations and the shelf space analogy, and right now your brain is focusing on the effort to do the dishes, when you could be thinking about how great it is that you have clean dishes in the cupboard and a spotless kitchen counter. You think a good thought, which crowds out the bad one, and the outcome is realized. I'm avoiding the real benefit of Scott Adams because it hurts. It's friendship. I lost a dear friend, someone I loved, a mentor, obviously, but a friend that I adored. In his podcasts, Scott offered his hand to everyone. He would be there at 7 a.m. West Coast time, whether you showed up or not, because he knew that whoever did show up needed a friend. Yeah, I like that. I feel like when we show up here in the chat, we're friends. You're regulars. We're hanging out. We're allowed to agree to disagree. Let's just keep it mostly civil. You know, friends can bicker, brothers can bicker, family bickers. Bickers, just to be clear, is what I was saying there. In his podcasts, Scott offered his hand to everyone. He would be there 7 a.m. West Coast time, whether you showed up or not, because he knew that whoever did show up needed a friend. I would exercise with Scott's morning show on daily for nearly a decade. I would be pumping away on the Peloton, my ears fixated on Scott's observations, pausing every now and then to send myself a note about something amazing that Scott just said. When my life changed, having a baby, I ended up not being able to listen to Scott live, so I looked forward to the comfort of the podcast banked for later. It was a good feeling to remember that, oh yeah, I have a Scott Adams I didn't get to. It might be Scott's greatest accomplishment, creating a community of gentle, intelligent beings who met every morning to share in a sip of a beverage of their choice. Those who didn't get it, well, too bad. There are those who remain critical of Scott, but I attribute that to their ignorance. Not ignorance in general, but specific to Scott. They just had no idea what they were dealing with. When they disparaged him, it's like rejecting a gold bar because it's too heavy. Fact is, the more you got to know him, the more valuable he became. He was the exception to his own frame, known as the basket case theory, which stipulated that once you got to know someone that you've admired or envied, you'd find out they're just as messed up as you. That's the basket case theory. It was an excellent frame for people with anxiety or shyness. You might think that the unfamiliar people are judging you in that hip restaurant, but really, they're too busy judging themselves. They have their own problems, and trust me, you wouldn't want them. Scott once was posed the question, would you trade your life with anyone? It's a good question for those of us who envy the rich and famous. But Scott said that you have no idea what the problems are of other people. The rich playboy may have syphilis. The popular actor may be riddled with alimony and addictions. The accomplished artist is almost always a nervous, palpable wreck. It was a simple reframe that helped dispense with jealousy. I find myself reading this in the voice of Greg Gutfeld a little bit. I feel like I'm delivering some of these lines in a Gutfeldian way. But Scott's own life subverted this fame. Sure, he had his own problems, but the more you got to know him, that fuller picture made him only that much more endearing. At a certain point in his life, Scott decided to devote himself to service, and he brought that service up to his dying breath. Instead of extinguishing the flame with assisted suicide months ago, once he felt the love swirling around him, because he was almost there, he decided to stick around for our sake. He wouldn't leave us, not yet anyway. He even reframed his death, that one's death is a relief for the dying, for their problems have gone. It is we who are in pain, not him. That's a good line to remember. He even reframed his death, that one's death is a relief for the dying, for their problems have gone. It is we who remain in pain, not him. And it's our selfish pain that he decided to be there for. I hate that he is gone because he helped me so much. He changed the way I thought, and by doing so, made me a happier, better version of myself. I fear I will lose that gift now with him gone, and I told him so a few months ago. To which he said, nah, you got it now. Some nice words from Greg Gutfeld about Scott Adams. Tim Pool shares, if Trump does not shut down the chaos and pandemonium, I'm just going to do a rapid round here. I got 5, maybe 10 minutes max before we got to queue up for Strictly Football. Tim Pool says, if Trump does not shut down the chaos and the pandemonium in Minneapolis, it will spread because people will no longer believe there are any consequences. More and more videos show chaos and violence. Even mainstream media is calling it the start of a second U.S. civil war. Mario Nothel shared this post and says, wait a minute, 56 people died under ICE during the Obama administration? Was I living under a rock? Because I don't recall any riots over that back then. Elon points out these are great points. I haven't confirmed 56, but if Mario and Elon are both sharing it and she's sharing it, that's 3 people saying it. We'll just theoretically take it at their word that 56 people expired under ICE during the Obama administration. But the selective outrage now just to get Trump, it's fucking pathetic. It is exhausting. Claire Ann says the Virginia State Democrats just passed the language for a constitutional amendment. Oh, that's good. Virginia Democrats taking some power. What are they going to do? Let's see. They're going to enshrine abortion up until birth, 9 months, in the Virginia Constitution. The amendment will appear on the ballot this fall. Guy Benson calls that barbaric and extreme. Maybe you agree. Abigail Spanberger and Virginia Democrats are now trying to ban gas leaf blowers. They want to tax electric, lawn, and landscaping equipment, and the cruelty is the point. Banning gas-powered landscaping equipment is adding new taxes to battery-powered landscaping equipment is wild. What are you doing? Stop with the taxes. What is this? Geiger Capital says Democrats have been in power in Virginia for 48 hours. They've already introduced a bill to ban the hand counting of election ballots. Can you believe that? Don't trust your lying eyes. Trust whatever we tell you to trust. Maybe it's a system, maybe it's an algorithm, maybe it's a computer code, maybe it's a device, and maybe you don't get to run a full forensic audit before and during and after. But trust us, bro. That's from the Trust It Bro division of their Democrat Party. Prohibits such ballots from being counted by hand for any reason? Come on. They're not even hiding what they're trying to do. Illinois Democrat Governor J.B. Pritzker signed into law the Clean Slate Act. Holy crap. Listen to this. I think I'm going to end on this story because it's super important. I'm going to have to get back to this one. This really should have been a headline story, but I'll leave it here for now. Take a listen. This is from Jasmine Miner on ABC 7.
2.2 million people are with the governor's signature. Nearly 2.2 million people are now eligible to have their criminal records sealed in what it hopes opens up opportunities for those looking for a second chance. It's official. The Clean Slate Act is law, which means law enforcement agencies are now required to automatically seal eligible criminal records every 6 months, and eliminating the need for individuals with prior convictions to navigate lengthy court procedures.
And this here is going to change my life completely.
Bernita Davenport McWhite says her criminal record has kept her from finding places to live, even though she's done her time.
I was able to find private landlord that was willing to sit down and have a conversation regarding my background to really get to know me.
Now she awaits getting her own record sealed as she continues to advocate for people like her, finding support from state leaders.
They deserve a track to run on. And the story of that humanity, the idea that people have to audition for their humanity has to stop.
The law does exclude convictions for sexual violence against minors, DUIs, reckless driving, cruelty to animals, and serious violent crimes, including anything that would qualify for sex offender registration. Still,
that was a pretty broad swath of bad stuff.
State believes the law will play a critical role on the economy.
This law will unlock $4.7 billion in lost wages. And this law reduces crime. Study after study tells us that when formerly incarcerated individuals have access to resources, jobs and housing and education, recidivism rates go down significantly.
It actually can move me one step forward. I could probably go back and get to my field that I wanted to get in.
For Julian Sims, that means a chance to follow his dreams of becoming an electrician and turning the page to a new life chapter.
It made me want to cry and jump for joy.
Those eligible can have their criminal records automatically sealed beginning in 2031. In the Loop, Jasmine Miner, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, so people are saying stuff about this. Law enforcement agencies now required to automatically seal eligible criminal records every 6 months. Criminals are now free to steal and commit crimes, and their convictions will be sealed. Taking criminal conversions and turning those into Democrat voters. The Clean Slate Act. We'll have more on that later. President Trump said, I just watched footage of the church raid in Minnesota by the agitators and insurrectionists. These people are professionals. No person acts the way that they act. They're highly trained to scream, rant, and rave like lunatics in a certain manner, just like they're doing. They're troublemakers who should be thrown in jail or thrown out of the country. The first to go would be Waltz and fake sleaze bag Ilhan Omar, who's supposedly worth over $30 million, even though she's never had anything but a government job. Investigate these corrupt politicians and do it now. TMK says, so what's today's excuse going to be when they don't arrest Don Lemon? It's actually kind of a sad post, but it's kind of a, sad post. Jonathan Turley says, Keith Ellison is a curious form of attorney general in Minnesota who opposes the actual enforcement of laws. He's refusing to enforce his own laws while suing to bar the federal government from enforcing its own laws. Turley continues, at the end of the day, though, it is actually a good thing that Keith Ellison is in court opposing such federal enforcement. After all, he is the best evidence for the need for enhanced federal enforcement in Minnesota. So funny how that happens. J.D. Vance says the White House confirms only 12% of foreign aid goes to the people who need it. 12%. And people are pushing for the SAVE Act. Speaker Johnson and House Majority Leader Steve Scalise are pushing to pass the SAVE Act, mandating in-person voting credentials presented. Voters must show documents directly to an election official or office. It would effectively end online voter registration and mail-in registration forms and voter registration drives. Voters must present proof of U.S. citizenship with a picture ID requirement, valid U.S. passport, a birth certificate, a real ID, a military card, a government-issued ID. The bill mandates voter ID, proof of citizenship, and effectively ends all online mailing, mail-in voter registration fraud. But John Thune, he said he'll work every day to advance Trump's agenda, but he's delivered almost nothing. This Charlie's Voice account says, stop stalling, nuke the filibuster, and pass the SAVE Act now. We ask who has better hair in this segment. That's up to you to pick, left or right. Who has better hair? Senator Thune hasn't posted on X since January 15th. And he's not pushing the SAVE Act. Democrats in Virginia also introduce a bill to eliminate mandatory minimum sentencing for or manslaughter, assaulting law enforcement, possession, distributing of child awfulness, and repeat violent felonies. So we said that the Democrats are a danger to our health, and we're asking Health and Human Services Director if we can score political policy based on the health impact if repeat criminals are released back into our society to harm us again. This truly is a health impact issue that the Democrats are creating by backing the bad people, the abusers. And that's what I have for you today. Mr. Kenneth, thank you so much for the Jar Jar Binks off the top rope with a super chat, $20 US. Ching ching, sir. Ching ching. Good, sir. Marion says, yes, I read Gutfeld's article. It is really good. Yeah, I just, I've said my piece on it, but Greg's a very good writer. He's very articulate. I like listening to Greg talk. So, I enjoyed that piece as well. Thank you so much, Kenneth, for that super chat. It is appreciated as we stand here on the street corner playing the guitar, singing some songs. If you like it, help your homie out. And remember, we can't agree to disagree on issues. We're here to talk about it. Keep it a mostly civil conversation. We can keep talking. That's how it goes. We need more of that in America. All right, so stay tuned in 18 minutes. If I can get everything up and running quickly enough, we'll have Strictly Football episode 28, I believe, of season 2. So stay tuned. Thank you, everybody. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with a friend. Drop your comment, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button. Rumble Rants, Super Chats, Patreon, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, all of those things. Thank you, everybody. Signing out on behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM universe. I appreciate you. I love you. I'll be back with Strictly Football in a couple minutes. Peace.
guide to the truth, the new American media.